You know how you hear often about being grateful, having gratitude, and even better, appreciation. It's even better to appreciate because it's a slightly different vibration where gratitude has the feeling of you're so grateful something bad has stopped and now this is better. Versus if you get to a state of appreciation and stay there, it's a higher vibration where you're just appreciating the blessings abound. And we've talked about this in depth because I do find that I'll be in gratitude often because I will recognize it happened for me, implying that something I didn't like was occurring. So that's a more reasonable state for me oftentimes. Nonetheless, you've also heard me talk about how I can be very bratty. I think all of us can, where we'll want something and we don't get it until a certain time. Because we've cultivated within, so now we're a match for it. But then when it arrives, it's like we don't want it anymore. We're just so bratty. And so I like how they just showed it where I don't like how they just showed it. It actually broke my heart. And I do feel bad when I get bratty about stuff or so demanding. It's obnoxious and it's gross. But so think of it this way, like if you go to give somebody a present and they're like, I don't want it. That's hurtful, right? Like that hurts your feelings when you're like, oh my God, I really picked out this gift for you. I thought you'd love it. And you don't receive their gift. You don't accept it graciously. It hurts you that your gift is rejected, right? And, so we're doing that to the universe all the time when we're not appreciating all of our blessings all the time. And so when you think of it that way, you might be like, oh shit, God, we are being obnoxious. I wasn't grateful for the sun today. I wasn't grateful for the flowers. I wasn't grateful for like a billion things you could go down. Oh my God, I woke up in a warm bed. Oh my God, I woke up with warm blankets and a great pillow. And oh my God, my car was running. I had plenty of gas. I was able to go run and do blah, 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 blah. Like there's so many things like that are just obvious that you can be grateful for, but you're not because you expect them and they're automatic. So we stopped appreciating them, let alone all the miracles that happen. I mean, if I told you all the stuff that happened today, you'd be like, what? All the time this happens for me, all the time. And so, but again, it's because I'm more aware of them that I find that a lot of times it is a feeling of gratitude versus appreciation, because I also have plenty of resistance going on. So this is why it feels more like gratitude, because I'll be upset about something or resisting something and then it'll release and then I'll be like, oh, thanks. Just my own nonsense. And so anyway, it's like I recognize all these dynamics and I try to verbalize them with you guys. And yet I thought this one smacked me even more, where not only are we bratty when we're not being grateful and worse when we're not appreciative, because there just really is so much. I mean, get real. There's plenty for us to appreciate. If you have nothing, there's plenty for you to appreciate. And if you have everything, you're really an asshole if you don't have any appreciate, right? Like there's just so much for us to always be appreciating and being grateful for. But if you can put in your mind, I don't know how your mind works or how I always say unconditional love is my same word. If unconditional love is the highest vibration of all, so that can equate to God, Source, Allah, the universe, all the names people say. So whatever your name is, and if you could for a moment take that energy and to visualize it in your mind as a being handing you something, because that's what essentially the universe is doing for all of us all the time, is handing us blessings and gifts and abundance constantly. And we would be so obnoxious to smack his hand away and say, I don't want it, and not receive his gift. Now, don't get me wrong. When we're doing that, that's because of our wound, right? And that's why the universe doesn't have conditions on us and loves us no matter what and continues to rain blessings down upon us. Very aware that his bratty little children have tons of wounds they have to work on. But you have to recognize that too, right? Like, that's my wound, right? Like, well, maybe it's because I'm angry because I don't think I'm worthy, or because it's late, or it's like just nonsense. There's all these wounds we have and all this nonsense we tell ourselves. But we have to be honest and cut through that noise and get clear with our problems, and feel like, do we feel like we're not good enough, or we're not worthy, or others will think we're obnoxious or bratty, or all this bullshit we tell ourselves is ultimately why we're smacking away our blessings. And it's like, all right, well, does that feel good? Is that how you want to live? Stop justifying yourself. Stop explaining yourself to anybody. Stop worrying about the perception of others. You can't understand the perception of others. You'll never be able to, right? Like, everybody's going to have their own perception, and you cannot understand them all or please them all, nor do you need to or want to, right? Like, it's, what is the real problem? And so you have to cut through that noise, and that does take work. It takes work, I believe, to truly embody worthiness, to understand that you are worthy. You can tell yourself that, other people can tell you that, but you have to know it. And that does require digging through that mess and untangling those knots to determine that yourself, to understand that, to embrace that, to embody that, so that you can receive once more. Right, so that you can accept all the gifts that are given to you all the time graciously, versus being a brat or obnoxious or ungrateful. Because when you're walking around saying you're not worthy, you are spitting in the universe's face. So if you look at it like that, I bet you would change that attitude. Right? You think you're being humble. You think you're no, it's a wound. That's issues that you need to work on. Because again, it's offensive. That's what you're spitting in the universe's face when he's blessing you. Because you're worried about what you're worried about what some human's going to think or say, or you're worried about that you're not good enough to receive it, or I don't know, like all the millions of things that are going on. But you have to dig through that and sort through that and determine that, and then work on that, heal that, release that, recognize that, whatever it is that you need to do, so that it's not lip service, but it's the work that you're doing to shore up those spots within yourself that aren't healed, that you're not loving, that you're not accepting, that you're not allowing, that you're not seeing, that you're not shining a light on. So that all your blessings can come in, and you can live the life you want to live once more, or for once. Right? There's many of people who have always wished and prayed, right, or never believed they could, or have never lived anything remotely close to what they want. I mean, there's so many. It's like lies in our head, in our mind, in our environment. And it does take work. It takes work, right? So it's not for me to judge. It's not for you to judge, right? Like, we're not here to judge others. But it's like not up to us to know whether somebody's worthy or not. It's up to themselves to determine whether they're worthy or not. And that does require them doing that work. I can't tell you that, and then all of a sudden everything snaps into the place. You have to tell yourself that. You have to know that. And so you have to figure out why you aren't already embodying that. And so I have found, I've shared a lot of that process with you for myself. I have found it to be challenging. I do not find it easy to face all those fears and to really get honest with myself and take a look at all that stuff. Is it worth it? Abso-fucking-lutely. Is it easy for me? Not at all. And so to smash our egos is challenging at times, and to tell it to sit down, because it's operating out of fear. And it's not malicious, but it is fear. And so we have to face those fears. And so It's almost like you earn your worthiness by doing your work. And you're doing that work to feel good and be happy, right? Which is really kind of funny. It's just funny that we make it so much more difficult and we avoid it. We avoid our own happiness because we don't want to do that work. And so there are people who will likely live in misery forever. And I do believe, just from my own personal experience, that a lot of times it's because they're not willing to do that kind of work. They'd rather suffer in the physical 3D world than suffer facing those fears internally in their mind. And I think also there's a lot of people who just don't even understand this entire process. It's never been explained or understood in such a way. In other words, they don't even necessarily understand it's an option to tell their mind something different. They don't even realize they're dialoguing with their mind. They don't even realize that their mind, their ego's running their show. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I mean a lot of times when we talk about people who are dead and awake, or asleep and awake, right? Like, there's these, the conscious and unconscious. You're automatic, you're a robot, or you're able to think on your own. You're utilizing your tool, or your tool's utilizing you. I could say it 100 different ways. It's all essentially saying the same thing. And so, there's a lot of people who are just living in misery or automatic pilot or many other things. Everything's a choice and everything's available to everybody, but they're so dense. You'll hear like dense in the matrix or in the fog or in the thick of it. Like, they just blind as a bat, right? No way out. And so it does feel like times you have to want it so bad that is your only goal, is to feel good. So you'll figure out a way, right? You'll start going to the library. You'll start asking around. You'll start moving closer to people who are happy and doing that kind of work and understand it, who you're asking them, how are you so happy? What are you doing? How can I, this kind of thing. And then there's other people who, again, it's almost like they don't even realize it's an option. They bitch all the time. They're around people who bitch all the time. All of that is so familiar and normal that it's like, in their mind, there is no other world. Do you see what I'm saying? So anyway, I thought it was interesting when we receive all these blessings from the universe, it's just as beautiful to the universe for us to accept them graciously, to be so grateful and appreciative of all those blessings and allow them to soak in. Like, how spectacular. Thank you so much. I love you so much. This is amazing, right? Like, appreciate and love the blessings that we're given all the time. And we get more and more and more of them, right? Like, if you're giving, using that same example, like you're giving gifts to somebody and they constantly smack it out of your hand, they don't want it and they're bratty about it and they're an asshole, eventually you're going to be like, I'm not buying this person gifts anymore. But there's somebody else you always give gifts to, and every time they're so grateful. They're always so, oh my God, this is the best. I love this. You know what? I just said I needed this. I just said I wanted this. Oh my God, this candle smells amazing. Oh my God, I really need it. I love this. And you want to keep giving that person gifts. They're so, they appreciate your effort, your gift, your acknowledgement, your sentiment, whatever it is, because they received it, right? So receiving it is just as important as giving it, right? And so it's that same idea with the universe. If you receive it graciously and you really mean it, it isn't just lip service. You feel it, you vibrate at it, you mean it, and you recognize it, you acknowledge it more and more and more, then you get more and more and more. It's like this never ending. And look at it that way. Like, it breaks my heart to think of all the times I've been such a brat to the universe. Like, that's so offensive, right? Because when you're on that other end of the stick, again, when you're giving a gift, like the universe gives us gifts, and it's smacked away, you feel that. It hurts. It hurts that somebody's like, no, thank you, I don't want your gift. No, thank you, go away. No, thank you, I don't want it. We resist it. We look at it as mean. So that's what I mean. If you can take that energy of your word for God, source, Allah, the universe, unconditional love, whatever your word is, your concept is, your understanding is, and just for a moment, put them in like a human form and think of it that way, you can maybe more recognize the act of not accepting, not receiving all the blessings, right? So don't think you're unworthy. Oh, I can't accept this gift. Excuse me? I just went and got this gift for you. What do you mean you can't accept it? What do you mean you're not worthy? I wouldn't be giving it to you if I didn't think you were worthy. So it's like we're offending the universe when we're like, oh, no. You're not being kind or nice or humble. No, you're being obnoxious. You're being a brat. You're being, so it's like accept it with grace and with appreciation and maybe this little tweak in how you see it can help you better receive so many blessings. Literally, I feel like I'm swimming in blessings. And all of us are. It's not just it's not just me. All of us are. If you start to look, you can't not see them. We live in such an abundant world. And we all get in states, don't get me wrong. You hear me get in my states. But, that's for us to either crash and burn or to recognize sooner than later or however you do you. Anyway, okay. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.